From the deadly 40-foot Loop of Doom to Adolf Silva breaking the laws of physics, this single event has changed mountain biking. Darkfest didn't just produce viral clips and world records, it fundamentally changed what is possible on two wheels. What began as a simple road trip through rainy trails in the UK has evolved into the most extreme freeride event on the planet. The story begins in 2014. Long before the name Darkfest even existed. British riders like Sam Reynolds and Matt McDuff set out on a simple mission: travel across the United Kingdom and ride the biggest, most intimidating jumps they could find. They called the project Pure Darkness, a fitting name for riding so gnarly it felt sinister. While slopestyle was defined by perfectly smooth dirt paths and judges holding scorecards, Pure Darkness was a deliberate step in the opposite direction. Massive gaps, sketchy landings, and riders pushing themselves far beyond competition limits. When the video dropped, it exploded across the mountain bike community. Not because the tricks were perfect, but because the features were simply enormous. From the beginning, Monster Energy believed in the project. In fact, in 2015, Reynolds and Sam Pilgrim were invited to South Africa to showcase the country's growing dirt jump scene. And what they discovered there would change the entire future of freeride. The soil around the Garden Route Trail Park was a dense red clay that packed almost like concrete, allowing builders to create jumps far bigger than anything possible in the muddy soils of Britain. Instead of simply riding existing trails, the crew started shaping their own vision, creating something far gnarlier than the world was ready for. It was Pure Darkness 2, the Step Up, featuring the largest step-up jump ever built at the time. The event was on one single jump, which by itself humiliated the slopestyle scene because the airtime was so massive that basically every single hit was world first. 2016 was the year everything changed, and the Loop of Doom was just the tip of the iceberg. Returning to South Africa for Pure Darkness 3, the team expanded the build dramatically and brought in two legendary builders, Nico Vink and Clemens Cadella. The step-up was rebuilt twice as big, and a whole new line of massive doubles was introduced. To clear the gaps, a towering 25-meter drop-in ramp was built. It launched riders down the hillside at nearly 70 kilometers per hour, generating the speed required to clear a line of jumps so big that slopestyle bikes simply couldn't take the harsh landings. So riders began using full downhill bikes simply to survive the impacts. That was the year of the stunt that changed MTB, with a world-first attempt. Matt McDuff had spent years researching whether it was possible to ride a full vertical loop on a mountain bike. After successfully testing a smaller version, he constructed a towering 40-foot wooden loop, nicknamed the Loop of Doom. On March 19th, McDuff dropped in. The speed was perfect, but the forces were overwhelming. He experienced more than 3 Gs of force, far more than a typical roller coaster. As the bike entered the loop, he lost control and was thrown off the structure, falling nearly 40 feet to the ground. The crash left him with 13 fractures across his wrists, ankles, and ribs. His lungs were full of blood. It was a brutal reminder that the pursuit of progression had very real consequences. In 2017, Darkfest was finally born. The event originally was part of the Fest series, a jam format event that truly embraces freeride spirit. South Africa remained the chosen land, and the best freeriders in the world were invited for a week of riding the enormous features created during the Pure Darkness era. Instead of traditional judging panels, the riders themselves voted for awards like Best Trick or King of Darkfest. That first edition set the tone immediately when Adolf Silva attempted a double backflip no-hander, but unfortunately, he crashed. Even though he didn't land it, the message was clear. Darkfest had become a place where riders were willing to risk everything, just for the fun of it. In 2018, Darkfest moved to a new location near Cape Town, at a hillside venue that would eventually become known as the Hellsend Dirt Compound.
Last year's course was the base of the dirt jumping project that Sam and McDuff did. So the jumps there were much more steep. The style was more like a dirt jump trail set.
This year, it's like we had a blank canvas. It was a good opportunity to build like one of the sickest lines ever, I would say.
During the month-long build, the crew created a brand new course filled with massive features, including, of course, a step-up in pure darkness style. From that point on, Darkfest was no longer just a filming project. It had become a proving ground for the world's most fearless riders. The legend, Jordy Lund, finally managed to make it out to South Africa, and after a big crash, he described Darkfest perfectly.
To me, the fest is all about pushing the limits on big jumps to help progress the sport and see what's possible. Nobody's competing against each other, so we talk about it.
Darkfest kept getting bigger not just due to the size of the jumps, but because of its unique format. It was more about having a great time than sending a perfect run for the judges. In early 2020, right before the world shut down and canceled major events like Hardline and Cerro Abajo, Darkfest kept going. By that point, the jumps had become so large that 20-ton excavators were the bare minimum. The course ended with a new feature called the rocket launcher, designed to send riders higher and farther than anything before it. Even during the global pandemic, Darkfest continued to evolve. The 2021 edition was held in isolation, with riders operating inside a strict bubble. The absence of spectators created a strange atmosphere, but the conditions turned out to be perfect. Firmer soil and cooler weather allowed the course to run faster than ever. That year, Spanish rider Bienvenido Aguado landed the longest front flip in history, flying over 100 feet. In 2022, Darkfest reached another historic milestone, when female riders like Robin Gooms and Casey Brown joined the session. But Adolf Silva stole the spotlight, landing a massive double flip and an even crazier Cali roll. In 2023, the crew returned to the Helsen dirt compound and added a new ramp to the main gap, placed 110 feet from the landing. Hitting the takeoff at over 70 kilometers per hour, British rider Tom Eisted pulled back for a backflip and traveled 120 feet dirt to dirt. The stunt shattered the world record for the longest backflip on a mountain bike. Meanwhile, Robin Gooms cemented her legacy by becoming the first woman to successfully ride the entire course. The 2024 edition was severely influenced by unpredictable weather. Extreme heat and strong winds made the course even more dangerous, and the week was defined by heavy crashes. Top riders like Carson Storch and Kurt Sorge suffered brutal slams that required hospital visits and completely destroyed their bikes. Despite the severe setbacks, the remaining riders continued to push the limits.
He flipped it first go. That was irresponsible.
In 2025, nearly a decade after his catastrophic fall from the Loop of Doom, McDuff was voted King of Darkfest by his peers.
Such a pleasure to pass on the crown to Matt McDuff!
It was a perfect full-circle moment. The rider who had sacrificed his body to push the boundaries during the Pure Darkness era had returned to conquer the biggest jumps on Earth, and 2026 was proof of that ongoing legacy. Thanks to the addition of a new ramp near the iconic rocket jump, riders achieved air times never seen before.
Oh my god, that's ginormous! Wow!
Redefining once again what's possible on two wheels. What started as a simple filming project across the UK had officially become the most important freeride jam in mountain biking history. Darkfest ultimately changed the sport forever. It proved that the greatest progression doesn't come from strict rules or a panel of judges, as Rampage taught, but from riders building impossibly large features just to see if they can be ridden.